Do you really need antibiotics for a sore throat? If you're going to the urgent care for every cold-like symptoms, cough, congestion, runny nose, you literally just started coughing this morning and you already made a doctor's appointment. Here are 5 things you need to know about an upper respiratory infection. Hi, I'm Dr. Lola, your favorite unfiltered doctor. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down 5 things you need to know about upper respiratory infections. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about point number one. What causes an upper respiratory infection? Viruses, you guys. Viruses cause upper respiratory infections. What are some common viruses that we all know of? Who's the popular guy on the block that everybody's talking about? COVID. COVID is a virus. Influenza, flu A, flu B is a virus. RSV is another popular guy on the block. So these are just 3 popular viruses, right? But there are thousands, hundreds and thousands, and probably even millions of viruses. Viruses, they mutate a lot. So there are tons of them. And this is what causes us to have upper respiratory infections. There are a lot of misconceptions out there. Sometimes people will say, oh, I went out into the cold. And I think that's what gave me this upper respiratory infection. Being in cold weather, you guys, actually does not give you an upper respiratory infection. So the example that I always give is think about people that live in Alaska or Colorado, states that are very cold. Do they always have an upper respiratory infection? No. Okay. So you have to come in contact most of the time, 90% of the time, it's a virus. Okay. How can you catch a cold, for example? If you're around somebody that's coughing, sneezing, they're passing their germs, babes. You need to move to the side. You need to put a mask on. You need to protect yourself. Okay. So, this is how you catch a cold, not washing your hands. People that are teachers that are in contact with little cute babies. I love babies, but they are cute little germ buckets. They always got a runny nose. That's how you catch a cold, by contracting these viruses from other people. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why that is. Why am I emphasizing the fact that a virus is the causative agent for an upper respiratory infection? It becomes important when you start to talk about treatment. Okay. But before we get to treatment, let's move on to point number two. Why do you not need to go to the ER because you have a cough, congestion, and a runny nose? Why don't you need to make an appointment with your primary care doctor? You do not need to go to the urgent care for a common cold. You guys, I see at least 40 patients a day because they have a cough, congestion, and runny nose. And I feel so bad that you guys don't know what to take. And that's why I'm making this video. I want to help you. I want to give you information. I want you to take a hold of your own health. Okay. I want you to stop putting your money, your hard earned money, into somebody else's hand because you don't know what to do. Okay. Why don't you need to make a doctor's appointment? Why don't you need to go to the ER? Because your cold is going to go away. I'm going to talk about signs that you need to look out for where your cold is becoming a problem and it's not going away. We'll talk about that. That's going to be point number 5. But most of the time, a common cold will go away, you guys. It will usually go away in about a week or two. Okay. So I don't want you to waste your time going to an ER. And that's why a lot of you get frustrated when you come and see your doctor. I went to the doctor and I told them I had a cough and congestion. They didn't do nothing because there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do, you guys. Your doctor is not a magician. Listen, there are some conditions that people have that I say, you know what? I'm going to prescribe you this. By tomorrow, you're going to feel brand new. There are some conditions like that. A cold, a upper respiratory infection, flu-like symptoms, whatever you call it, wherever you're from, there is nothing a doctor that's going to give you or prescribe for you that's just going to stop that cold in its track. It has to run its course. A cold will run its course. That brings me to point number 3. How long do upper respiratory infections last? They can last from about a week to 2 weeks. Okay. I like to think that these viruses that we were talking about earlier, they have different personalities. Some of these viruses, they're real nice. Okay. Your symptoms are going to be mild. It's going to last for about 5 to 7 days. You're going to feel a little sniffly, a little sore throat, a little cough here and there, and you're going to be done in about 5 to 7 days. Some of these viruses, though, they're brutal. I know. I know why you came to the ER. I know you think you're gonna die. You're not gonna die, sis, bro. Whoever's watching this, I promise you're not. And this is the thing I tell people all the time. I get sick a lot because I work in a urgent care and I treat colds all day, every day. So every once in a while, I'll get a cute little patient, cute little baby sneeze on me, and I already know by the end of my shift, my throat is going to be itching. I'm going to be sick. I'm about to get everybody in my household sick. And I've had symptoms, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, this is why patients come to the emergency room. This feels like hell. Like it feels horrible. But guess what? I never make a doctor's appointment. And I know that's not fair for me to say because I know what to look out for. And like I said, we're going to talk about what to look out for. I'm giving you the secrets. You got to listen to what I'm saying. You will get better, especially if you're young and healthy. What kills me is when a healthy 20-year-old female comes in, no medical history, no diabetes, no COPD, no asthma, and you just started coughing this morning and you already in my office. Why? You will be okay. Give it a second, babes. Give it a second. I'm going to talk to you about how to treat your cold, but like I was saying, you have nice viruses and you have mean viruses. If you have the mean virus, you're going to be sick for 2 weeks, babes. It's given 2 weeks of coughing, congestion, runny nose. And even after that 2 weeks, especially if you have the flu, sometimes all your symptoms will go away and you'll have a lingering, annoying cough. Usually it's a post-nasal drip. That means mucus is dripping to the back of your throat and it gives you this dry, annoying cough. That could linger for another week again, but usually about a week or two. That's how long a cold can last. Do not come to the office and you just started coughing this morning. Stop doing that. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, and then you're going to be frustrated with your doctor because you think she's going to wave a magic wand and make it go away. And she's not, babe. She's not. Your doctor is not going to make your cold go away. I'll tell you when you do need to go see a doctor, though. Okay. So we got the nice viruses, we have the mean viruses. If you've been coughing for under a week, you probably don't need to make that doctor's appointment. Okay. I'm going to tell you when you do, there's always a caveat, but for the most part, you can treat your cold at home. That brings me to point number 4, how to treat an upper respiratory infection. I got all the tea. I got everything you need here. I'm going to go through all the medicines that you can take at home. None of these medicines require prescription. And this is why I'm saying you don't need to see your doctor. Your doctor don't want to see you too. We don't want to see you for a cold. Okay, you don't need a prescription for any of these medicines that I'm about to show you. Now, I will say this, if you're not into medicines, that's fine. We can do another episode where we talk about non-medicinal ways to treat your cold. I totally get it if you are not trusting of big pharma. Listen, I have a professional and a personal opinion. So I'm with you. If you don't like taking over-the-counter medicines, that's fine. But you're gonna feel all your symptoms. You're gonna be sick, and don't come and see your doctor because the only thing your doctor is gonna do is prescribe you medicine. Okay, so don't come to our office talking about I don't like medicine because your doctor's gonna look at you like, what do you want me to do? Okay, so let's talk about how to treat your cold. The way you treat your cold, you address each symptom as it comes. All right, when you get a cold, the first thing that the virus does is that it attaches to a mucosal surface. A lot of the times it's the throat. 9 out of 10 times when I see a patient, I always ask them, I say, how did your symptoms start? Doc, it started with a little itch, a little itchy itch, a little sore throat. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes it itch. It just usually starts in the throat. Sometimes it's congestion that it starts with, but it starts in the throat. So you start off with the sore throat. Listen, everyone needs to have Tylenol and Motrin at home. Let's just start there. This is how you treat a cold. We're talking about how to treat a cold. Tylenol and Motrin is for pain and fever. Some of y'all come to my office and tell me you've been using Motrin for a cough. Motrin is not a mucolytic. It's not going to stop your cough, okay? Tylenol and Motrin, say it with me, it's for pain and fever. So if you're having a sore throat, you can use either one of this. Now, if you have certain medical conditions, because I don't want y'all to try to get me caught up, no lawsuits over here, okay? There are some conditions that does not allow you to take these two medicines. Tylenol, for example, if you have any type of liver disease, if your doctor ever told you that your liver enzymes were high, hepatitis, anything to do with the liver, because Tylenol is processed through the liver, you probably should stay away from Tylenol, okay? Motrin is usually safe as well, but there are some contraindications to Motrin as well. So I'm going to talk through a few of them off the top of my head. If you have a history of gastritis, you get real bad heartburn, that burning sensation here in the epigastric region, that radius, that sour taste in your mouth. If you're someone that has really bad acid reflux, Motrin might make those symptoms worse, okay? If you have a history of ulcers, if a doctor ever told you that you have an ulcer, you probably should stay away from Motrin as well, okay? If you've ever had a stomach bleed, stay away from Motrin. If you are on blood thinners, Pradaxa, Eliquis, warfarin, you've ever had a blood clot and they prescribed you a blood thinner, you shouldn't be taking Motrin. If you have chronic kidney disease, okay, anybody ever told you your kidney function is a little funky? Motrin is processed through the kidney, so you want to try to stay away from Motrin for those reasons. But if you are a young, healthy, or old, healthy individual, Tylenol and Motrin, you can't go wrong, okay? Or if you have an allergy. If you have an allergy, please don't take it, okay? Don't come and kill me. Don't kill me. I didn't tell you to take it and you know you have an allergy. Otherwise, sore throat. Also, when you're having a cold, it starts with that sore throat, right? Over the next couple of days, the sore throat might actually go away. Then the congestion, the runny nose kicks in. The headaches kicks in. A fever might kick in. Remember, if you have a fever, what do you take? Tylenol and Motrin, as long as you don't have any contraindications, okay? So let's talk about congestion. Now, a lot of these over-the-counter medicines, they're there to help you. And I know this is hard and I know it's frustrating, but over-the-counter medicines, they're not magic. They'll help you a little bit. It's not going to stop remember I told you nothing stops, it has to run its course. These medicines are there to keep your symptoms down and manageable, but it's not going to stop the cold. I didn't tell you it was going to stop your cold, okay? It's just going to keep your symptoms down and manageable. Sometimes you got to take it around the clock, every 6 hours, every 8 hours, and it's going to help you a little bit. So we were talking about congestion. Mucinex is good for cough. That's if you start coughing. Sudafed is actually one of those medicines. Now, this is liquid because these are all medicines that I have at home. And I think everyone, especially if you have kids, even as an adult, you should have this medicine at home. Sudafed I actually find to be very helpful for congestion. It's one of the few medicines that I actually feels like this actually works a little bit. I have liquid, like I was saying, because I have babies, and I don't give it to them often. And we could talk about that a different day. When my kids have colds, Tylenol and Motrin, I don't always use these medicines. Like I told you, I'm not that big on using medicine, but they're there if you don't mind using it. But Sudafed is good for nasal congestion, okay? Mucinex is good for cough. You have Dayquil, NyQuil, Theraflu, Quercetin, Delsym. There's so many different brands. Just choose what your cough syrup of choice. Just one. Don't go mixing stuff. You're not a chemist. Don't get too excited. Just choose one. You choose each medicine for each symptom, okay? Tylenol and Motrin for pain and fever. Choose a cough syrup of choice, Dayquil, NyQuil, Mucinex. Choose one of those. Sudafed is good for congestion, okay? An antihistamine is good for runny nose. So if you're having really bad runny nose or if you have seasonal allergies, Allegra is one of the more expensive antihistamines. Claritin is a good option. Zyrtec is a good option. That's for itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, itchy throat. Once again, you don't need a prescription. You do not need to go and see your doctor for any of these medicines. I'm trying to tell you what you need to do, okay? Make sure you're listening. Don't go and see your doctor after a day or 2 or 3 of having cold-like symptoms. You guys are putting your money in the wrong people's pockets, and I'm here to save you a few bucks, okay? Having a thermometer is nice because when you do need to see your doctor, we like to know what your temperature has been. So invest in a thermometer. And I say invest because I don't know why these things are so expensive. Thermometers be like $20, $30. Like, I don't understand. But just get you a good one time and keep it at home. Check your temperature. Okay. It's really annoying when people come in and say, I was sweating, but I don't know if I had a fever. Like, I actually really do need to know if you had a fever, and I need to know how high that fever is. Okay. There's a difference between having a temperature of 99 and having a temperature of 104. So get yourself a thermometer. Go ahead and invest in one. Okay. If you have kids, they don't know how to blow their nose, they're young, they're babies. I love the normal saline nose spray. I love the mist. Imma spray it actually. It's very comfortable in the nose. I don't like the drops. It's harder to get into the nose. It's a little bit more harsh. The mist is perfect for babies, and what the normal saline does is that it breaks up the mucus, and then you'll see their mucus run down a little bit, and then you need oh, where's my little nose suction? Okay, so I have this one as an example of ones that I don't really like, but this is what you would use. After you spray first, you get it to run. Don't go digging in your baby's nose before making the mucus watery. You're making it watery so that you can suction. This will be painful if you just jab it in there and the mucus is thick and isn't coming down. Does that make sense? Great. Some people like the bulb. It's not bad. It's just imagine having a little baby and you're trying to get this in their nose and then they're moving and this is if you like it, it's fine. You can use it. Just squeeze and suction. Just be careful. I thought I had my Baby Frida here. You can Google it. It's called Baby Frida. I like the manual one. It goes in the nose, and then the other end goes in mommy's nose or daddy's nose, and you suction. And I like it because you can really get in there. You can suck the mucus. After a while, you start to have a little fun with it. You can suck as much mucus out of your baby's nose to really get their congestion down and out. They do have a battery operated one, but I hear those break easily. You don't have as much control. So I like the Baby Frida, and I'm sad I don't have it here. Maybe it fell on the floor. I thought I had it. Okay. Cough syrup for your kids. And once again, cough syrups, they're not that great. It's not going to stop the cough. The cold is going to run its course. I cannot stress that enough. You guys, listen, the medical field doesn't have the answer to everything. And a cold is one of those things. We cannot stop a cold. So this cough syrup, your child may or may not stop coughing. And that's why I said I'm not a huge fan of medicine. When my kids are sick, I let it run its course. I know they're going to be okay. And I know what to look out for when I feel like they're not going to be okay. And that brings me to point number 5. I think I've went through all my medicine here. Point number 5 are red flags or alarming symptoms. And this is very important. If you've watched this video up until this point, you can't click off now. You got to listen to this part. Red flags and alarming symptoms are important because that's when we do want to see you. There are a couple of things that should not be happening when you're fighting a cold. Okay. The first thing is shortness of breath. You need to breathe. You need to be able to breathe. At no point in time should you be having difficulty breathing. You should not be wheezing. You should not be breathing super fast. That means you're no longer having an upper respiratory infection. You're probably now having a lower respiratory infection. That means it's gotten into your lungs. You might be fighting pneumonia at this point. Okay. At no point, listen, you need to breathe. I don't know how else to say that. Breathing is essential. And I'm not talking about, because here y'all go. I'm not talking about nasal congestion. You're so stuffed up, you can't breathe. It's okay. That one will get better. Okay. It's okay. I'm talking about literally like from your chest, you can't take a deep breath. Or if you have asthma, you know what that feels like. Red flag number 1, difficulty breathing, wheezing. Please don't play around with that. You see, I'm serious now. I'm very serious when I'm talking about the red flags because we don't play around with stuff like that. Because a cold can turn into pneumonia, and I don't want you having pneumonia. When you have pneumonia, then you need antibiotics, okay? Let's see, what's another red flag? Chest pain. Now, with chest pain, I want to be careful about the way I describe that. Listen, when you cough, you use muscles in your chest, okay? So your chest can be it's almost like a burning sensation actually when you're coughing and you have a cold. So you can have a little soreness when you cough. But if you're not coughing and you're just feeling pain, in your chest, your upper back, that could be a sign of pneumonia. You shouldn't be having chest pain. That's usually concerning. That is considered a red flag. Okay. So, shortness of breath, chest pain, red flag. When you have a cold, and red flag number 3, you're allowed to have a fever the first day. You're allowed to have a fever the second day. You can even have a fever the third, maybe even the fourth day. But if you're spiking a fever 5 days in a row, baby, that's a red flag. You need to come in. Why are you still spiking fevers? We get a little bit worried when that happens. Okay. So a fever, number 1, is defined as a temperature above 100.3. For me, I'm a little bit more like, if you're giving 100, that's a fever. We don't need the point 0.3. Anything that touches 100 is a fever for me, okay? But by definition, 100.3 is a fever. So that's why I said you need to invest in a thermometer. Once again, I have this one because I have kids, okay? But if you're an adult, you probably need a different one. Anything above 100, day 1, it's okay. Day 2, it's okay. Don't be coming, I spiked the fever today, just this morning. It just started today. Please go home. I'm tired. Okay. Day 3, it's also okay. Okay. Day 4, okay. You're going to give it like one more day. Day 5, you need to call your doctor. You need to go to the ER. You need to go to the emergency. And you probably, 9 out of 10, you probably will still be okay. But it is considered a slight red flag if you're spiking a fever more than 5 days in a row. Okay. So what point is that? I think we're like at point number 3, and now we're on number 4. Another red flag would be loss of appetite and fatigue. If you're having all those symptoms that I just said, fever 5 days in a row, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, and not fatigue on day 1. So you're just spotted, okay? Fatigue on like a week into your cold, and that's actually another red flag. After about day 7, if the cough is getting worse, if you see your doctor after a week of a cold, your doctor's gonna like you. They're gonna be okay with that. They're not gonna be mad at you because the doctor is gonna be thinking, this patient has tried. They've tried to manage their symptoms at home. They've tried Tylenol. They've tried Motrin. They've tried a cough syrup. And it's been a week. Your doctor will listen to you. Your doctor may even prescribe you antibiotics. Okay. So after about a week, if the cough is getting worse, it's probably okay to go in and be seen. Okay. So I hope you guys stayed for all of those red flags because they are very important. And so now I want you to do something for me, okay? If this was helpful, if you want me to make more videos like this, if you want me to give you the tea, okay, you want me to tell you what doctors are thinking, how we be talking about y'all behind y'all backs, okay, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Can't you take a joke, okay? Drop a comment, like the video, okay? Leave a question. Let me know what topics you want me to cover. Slide in my DM if you don't want to put the medical topic or whatever in the comment section. I will cover it for you. I will talk about it. I would do research. I'm not all knowing, but I will figure it out for you. Okay. So if this was helpful, comment and share. Please share. And let's keep this going. Let's keep talking. Let's keep having a dialogue. I want to start saving you all time and money. And I want to start giving you information that you need to make you feel more empowered about your health. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Follow me. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.